Hi everybody, a very quick video on Kundalini because somebody asked me what Kundalini was, so I'm just going to do a quick video on it and tell you from my perspective sort of what it means and how it works, give you a better understanding of it. So Kundalini is it's a type of energy, and it usually sits dormant in your first chakra, in your root chakra. If you want to try and imagine what this energy looks like, it is usually related to looking like a coiled snake. Now this coiled snake is coiled 3.5 times, very tight, very secure, and it's right at the bottom of your spine, fast asleep, not knowing much about anything. So when this energy is awakened, when it's released, and you can do this by way of several different ways of doing things. For some people it could be a near-death experience. There are specific breathing techniques that can be used and controlled to bring about this awakening of this snake at the bottom of your spine. It can also be used when or be awakened when your body is in fear, when you're in fight or flight mode. There's also certain types of yoga and tantric sex, and this energy can also be awoken spontaneously at a predetermined time before you were born. You won't have much memory of this, or you might do, but it was decided and you signed a contract before you were reincarnated into this world. Now, when this internal alarm clock goes off, the snake is going to wake up. That's your Kundalini waking up and becoming active. Now, the energy upon awakening, this snake is going to uncoil. It's going to start to wake up, and it does that within your root chakra. Now usually, as a general rule, depending on how you woke up, it's going to rise up through your sacral chakra, your second chakra, which is your orange one in your abdomen. So as a general rule, so it can do it differently, but it's going to start to rise up first through your abdomen, through your sacral chakra, and it's going to rise up through all of your chakras until, from the base up through all the 7 chakras, right up until the top of your head. When it gets to the top of your head, your crown chakra, imagine your crown chakra as 1,000-petaled lotus flower opening up. This is what some people relate it to, as looking like your crown chakra. When the Kundalini reaches this 7th chakra, your crown chakra, and opens this up, it's the entire power. It opens up with its entire power, and it develops its full majestic force. And this is called enlightenment. This is what it's to be enlightened. So being enlightened means that you are now connected to your guide, your angels, your collective consciousness, to God, and you'll become aware of certain gifts that are also given to you at that time on becoming aware and awake when the Kundalini has reached your crown chakra and you're connected. So you're going to start to learn and develop these gifts that not everybody has, because obviously not everybody is awake, but you will be. So when this opens, you get these gifts down, and you are going to be able to learn how to use them, and also to a certain extent how to control them, although not fully. You can develop all of the gifts or a few of them. You may have definitely more than one. You may have some that I've not listed here, but it's going to be things like clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. You could also become clairsentient. Clairsentient means clear feeling of things. Claircognizant, which means a clear knowing of things, and clairaudience, which means clear hearing of things from your upper realms. You're also going to develop healing abilities, but not for just yourself, but you'll be able to learn how to heal others as well as yourself as well. I'm going to do some separate videos in the future on these because I just want to concentrate on the Kundalini at the moment. So sometimes during life-threatening situations, gives the Kundalini energy a chance to be released. So if you look at stories of how people suddenly have this superhuman strength to save themselves or to save a loved one who's in a life or death or a really dangerous situation, this is how it's done. We've all heard about the grandmother who has to lift this car off to save her grandchild who's underneath it. This was her Kundalini being released and awoken, giving her that temporary power, that strength that she needed to do what she needed to do, to lift that car off her grandchild. Long time ago, yogis, Buddhas, Hindus discovered the secret of Kundalini, and that it can be used to move it very quickly into higher states of consciousness as it rises up through, and use it to connect. So by meditating on the chakras, the Kundalini is activated and it begins to rise. The Kundalini is coiled up like a very tight spring at the bottom of your back, like a snake, and when this power is released, there is sometimes such an explosion of power within you, and if it's properly directed, the Kundalini travels up a tube-like vehicle which is very closely and lies very close to your spine upwards, and this is the vehicle that it uses to go up. Without proper direction, without proper control, the release of Kundalini can become uncomfortable. It can become possibly damaging or dangerous if you don't know what's happening. If you think it's awoken in you, find out as much as you can about Kundalini and chakras. Learn, and do some more learning to be able to learn, control and direct the flow of this energy, this Kundalini. If you need help and advice, ask for it. I've done loads of videos on each chakra awakening, some of the emotional, some of the physical experiences, symptoms from my own point of view that I've gone through, that you can have a look at, which will really help you to understand more about what Kundalini energy is. So on its way up through your spine, it is going to go through each chakra. It's going to cleanse it, it's going to strengthen it, it's going to strengthen the energy body, it's going to strengthen the chakras. Your Kundalini can also go back to sleep. It can slowly descend back down to the base of your spine, recoil itself up and go back to Bobos at some point. So unless you are aware that you are awakened, you need to then make a conscious decision to keep it going, to live day by day spiritually, to nurture yourself, to love yourself, to eat healthily, sleep healthily, look after your gifts, learn the gifts that you've been given, the connection that you've got with your guides and your angels, and make a conscious decision every day that this is the pathway that you want to travel down. Now it is completely up to you just how far you want to go down the rabbit hole, which is a little saying a lot of spiritual people use nowadays for spiritual learning. It's how deep do you want to go down that rabbit hole, and how spiritual do you actually want to be, how far do you want to be. So it's up to you to decide how far you want to go into this journey, how far you want to take it, because it can, if you leave it alone, it will just go back to sleep again. Although saying that, once you're awake, you're never going to forget that you did wake up once, and you're not going to want to go back to sleep, because you are now entering a whole different world, a whole different dimension that you never knew existed. So use the gifts, develop the gifts, learn the gifts that you've got. If you don't use them, you lose them. So as we're doing this, as we continue to grow every day, as we continue to learn, we can go through many transformations. We can also go through several more sort of mini awakenings throughout our lifetime as well. This comes over by washing over us in huge waves of spiritual energies which are brought on by the moon and the astrological stars. And as we become more and more connected, we break through all of the programming, the conditioning, the false beliefs, the false belief systems that we've had within this matrix. And in the past, because we were asleep, we allowed it to keep us prisoner. We allowed ourselves to be caught up in an illusion of what we thought reality was, when it isn't. It's just a man-made reality. And once we can break through that and we break out of that conditioning, once we've connected, you don't ever want to go back to sleep after that. So it's just how far you want to take it. So there's a quick explanation of Kundalini. There's loads of stuff on the internet you can go and have a look at to further learn as well. Check out those chakra videos. That will help enormously if this is something you're going through. But when we talk about your chakras and we talk about chakras opening, to have those chakras open, there needs to be an energy, a power that helps it to open, and that is what we call Kundalini. Okay, so hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon. Namaste, blessings and light. Bye.